All right, all right, all right, all right. I'm jumping on really quick here. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to FMR Therapy, JC, the People's Therapist. I was really just looking for a video that I could send to a client that demonstrates a modified side plank where we're also activating into the clam for some outside hip power, and really all I can find is demonstrations of people doing the side plank or the modified side plank. But let's turn this into something that's where you're moving, where you're using those muscles and then trying to create some type of movement with them, because that's how it would translate into when I want to use those muscles and coordinate those muscles together to create a movement. It's shocking to me that I couldn't find this out there. So this is what I'm talking about. We get into the modified side plank in DNS. I think they call this like the low oblique sit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Love DNS work, dynamic neuromuscular stabilization. But we're in like a side plank position. My hip is bent, my knees are bent. I've got my elbow underneath my shoulder. I'm going to stack that and kind of push the floor away a little bit. I want a really active shoulder here. Whatever, I mean, we'll just put the other hand on the hip because that just seems like a convenient place. I like to put my palm down. I don't do a fist here. I like to put my palm down here. But then as I come up into the plank, my hip is going to drive forward, right? So my hip is back, and I'm just in almost like a fetal position, right? And then as I come up, my hip is driving forward, and then I'm going to finish by just doing that clam action, right? I don't need a band here on my knees. This is hard enough, trust me, people, especially if you do need work on the outside hip. So again, I'm going to drive up and forward, and I'm going to open up for the clam. As I sit back down, I'm going to let my hips travel back as I put my butt back down slowly. I'm going to come back up. I can be explosive here as I get into that position. I'm looking for a straight spine. And then as I go back down, I'm just setting down nice and slow to get a really good eccentric load on those external rotators and hip abductors on that other side. So up, take a nice deep breath, hold there, slowly return, sitting back, up, coming up nice and straight. So I'm making a straight line from my shoulder to my knee there, and then coming back down. So let's do this for reps, right? We're going to do this for reps. In this one, I would say do it for maximal reps, not necessarily like a 3 sets of 10 or anything like that, but maximal reps. Really try to burn out that hip. You'll feel both hips working. You'll feel this shoulder working. Hopefully you fatigue the hip before you fatigue the shoulder, but if the shoulder is the limiting factor, it is what it is. You're working the shoulder as well. Flip onto the other side and then do that exact same thing. So again, we're in kind of a fetal position. Hip is bent, feet are together, however that feels good down there, right? And then stacking this elbow, pushing the hip forward, bringing the leg up, really squeezing the glute to get the hip forward, and then slowly returning down. You can tap and go, do a nice hold, slowly return down, tap and go, and then just get as many as you can. Just kind of let yourself fatigue on that hip, do both sides. And let's say like 3 days a week or something like that, where you're really maximally repping out these to get some good coordination of that lateral side of the chain and what's happening with the hip, specifically for how strong you are at putting the knee where you want the knee to go in sport. All right. That's it. Now we've got one on the YouTube. We're actually using the modified side plank in a movement, not just a static hold. Get after it, you guys. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time.